Good morning, everyone. I hope you're waking up to a beautiful day like me. Come join me for a little smidgen of A Daughter's Plea, Letters to My Mother. This is one of my favorite parts. What I have found on my healing journey so far is to be patient and remind myself that not one of us is perfect. We can all fall back into old patterns, but we must forgive ourselves when we take a step or two backward, knowing that we aren't the limiting beliefs we play out in our heads and that we are perfect just the way we are. It helps me to notice where I feel I'm lacking and the negative thoughts I'd need to ignore, then let them pass by. It also helps me to recognize how my body is feeling daily. I ask myself questions like, what is my body trying to tell me? How can I change that way of thinking about myself? I notice if something or someone triggers me in any way, and I take the time to sit with it to find out why and release the emotions attached to it. Other questions I ask myself are, where do I feel overwhelmed? Am I trying to fit too much into one day? Where am I not speaking my truth? Where am I not loving myself enough? Am I listening to my intuition and my guides who are trying to lead me on my soul's path? As my holiday was coming to an end, I reflected on the last few days and really enjoyed my visit with not just my mum, but the rest of my family and friends. Sasha, my best friend, always makes time for me when I'm home, as well as makes plans for us girls to get together. Taking the time to share everything with my mum proved just how much I had been through and truly how strong I am, not only to have gone through it all, but also to have come out the other side and healed from it all. I'm proud of myself for never giving up, even when I really wanted to. The dark night of the soul can be described as the painful process of metamorphosis. A caterpillar travels up a long, wide trunk of a tree, moving inch by inch until it merges onto a branch where it finds the perfect spot to weather the difficult transformation. First, it wraps itself in fine silk that becomes its cocoon before it turns to mush. As this painful transformation continues, the caterpillar gradually transforms into a perfectly formed butterfly, eventually emerging from that protected chrysalis, a beautiful piece of art that flies away freely, feeling fresh and brand new. A healing journey can't be rushed or judged. It needs the time and space to unravel when it's ready. As life carries on, there are always going to be new feelings and situations that arise that will need space and time to unravel. The important thing to remember is to take that time and just allow this when it arises. Through all my letters I wrote, I could look back and see the cycle of acceptance that I had to go through. First, I had to acknowledge that some of the ways I had been treated by others in my past were wrong and not my fault. I could get to a place where I could express my feelings of hurt to those people in my life and accept that what they did had nothing to do with anything I did or didn't do, and understand that those people didn't deliberately hurt me on purpose. They were hurt and had their own things they had to work through, doing the best they could at the time. Once I understood that, I could begin to release the resentment and hurt I had that I was hanging on to in my lower abdomen, along with releasing any self-doubts or old patterning I had of myself. At this point, I was able to look back at my past from a different perspective. I was no longer in self-pity, pointing fingers at everyone, blaming them for the way my life had turned out for the mistakes that I had made. Instead, I took ownership of my own mistakes in my life and not attached it to a particular person or situation. I could accept that the outcomes of my choices were my own lessons to learn. I looked at the people in my life who had hurt me and realized that they were hurting just as much as me or more. Instead of feeling hurt or angry with these people, I felt empathetic and understanding toward them and realized their behavior was just a reflection of how they felt about themselves. Hurt people hurt other people. I hope you enjoyed, and If you're interested in hearing more, I have a couple of other videos on YouTube and other social media posts, or you can order my book. It's online. You can look me up at kimjsigurdson.ca, and you can find the links there. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.